black thing go from left to right, and I thought, I'm going to die out here. No one's ever going to know. I couldn't believe what my eyeballs were showing me. I'll never forget how evil the eyes were. It was horrible. I mean, I've never seen nothing that evil.
It ran towards me at a rate that I can't even explain. Turned and stared at me, and this look of, I just want to kill you. I want to say it was human, but it wasn't.
He was yelling at me to grab a gun, grab a gun. I was like, for what? He said, just grab a gun. And there's footprints all the way to the door of my house. It had went inside my garage, all the way to the door.
911, what are you reporting?
Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
Theo!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh.
You're listening to Sasquatch Chronicles. Check us out online at sasquatchchronicles.com. If you've had an encounter, email me. My email address is wes@sasquatchchronicles.com. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. Got a great show planned for you tonight as we march towards the episode 500. I am in Texas. We're live with Tony Merkel from the Confessionals. Tony, what's going on, man?
Hey, my man. What's going on?
And we also have a special guest, KC, who is the coordinator for Sasquatch Chronicles.
KC!
KC in the house. If you're a fan of Sasquatch Chronicles, most of the success is because of KC. KC, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's having a lot of fun down in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 70 degrees outside.
I agree. It's been beautiful.
Middle of the night. It's like
It's the
70
best time to come to Texas.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Casey, what would you say your role is in all of this?
I babysit Wes and Tony.
Yeah.
Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
That's probably accurate.
She's probably right.
It's kind of like wrangling cats a little bit. No, I don't do much. They're the stars.
No, baloney.
I just make sure everything's going all right on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything runs smoothly because of Casey. If it were up to me, all the merchandise, the beautiful merchandise. If you go to SasquatchChronicles.com, check out the store. That was that was all Casey. That wasn't me at all.
100%.
I'd have Walmart shirts with like stamped Sasquatch Chronicles if it were up to me.
Hey, here's a Sharpie. Write Sasquatch Chronicles on it. Have a nice day.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, it's a lot of fun just hanging out down here in Texas. And I know there's a little bit of an echo. There's not much I can do about it just because it's kind of a mobile studio. Tony, tell your UFO story.
Well, it all started with Bigfoot. No, it was probably like, oh man.
Are you going through puberty or something?
I know. It's also, I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep and I'm dead tired all day.
I hear you.
What were we talking about?
Your UFO story.
Oh, that's right. Bigfoot. I mean, UFO.
Yeah.
We're on a Bigfoot show. So, So we got the UFO encounter that I had about, I think it was 2 Fridays ago. And it was pretty unique where I was driving back. I'm a truck driver. And so at the end of my day, I was driving about an hour down the turnpike to go back to my terminal to call it a night. And I'm in the Philadelphia area. And so when I'm driving down the turnpike, it's not an uncommon thing where you see these lights in the sky. And they're usually perfectly distanced, and they're all the same color. And if you didn't know any better, you'd be like, oh my God, we're getting invaded. I mean, it looks like some kind of mothership moving into the area like Men in Black, you know what I mean? It's just like freaky. And I can't tell you how many people have, knowing what I do and stuff, they've come to me and say, have you ever seen the lights in the sky? Yeah, it's called the Philadelphia International Airport, and their planes coming in for landing. And so I'm quite used to that stuff, but I'm driving down the turnpike and I see the typical lights, and what was different was I started seeing this light in the sky that was flashing a very rhythmic red pulsating light. It had a steady blue light, and I'm like, okay, whatever, it's a freaking plane. And as I'm getting closer, now I'm driving about 2-3 miles before I get up on this thing. And as I'm getting closer, I'm assuming it's a plane at first. And then I'm like, well, this thing isn't moving. I'm thinking, okay, it's a helicopter. You know, you're right on the turnpike. Maybe there's an accident coming up, and there's, you know, the local news monitoring the traffic, or even police monitoring the speed through the helicopter. And so I'm just driving along, and as I get up closer and closer to it, I realized that this was something a little different. And so, like I said, it's about 2-3 miles of me driving to get up on this thing. So right there, it's telling me, yeah, I haven't seen it move. I'm gaining on it, but it took some time. This thing was hovering. And I'm still thinking it's a helicopter until I'm getting to the point where I'm actually passing this thing. And it's about 200-300 feet up in the air. And I'm looking at my driver's side window, and I just look up at it because I'm curious. And I'm really not thinking much. I'm just thinking it's probably a helicopter until I see the shape of this thing. So it's dark outside, but it's like one of those nights where the sky wasn't completely dark, especially in the Philadelphia area. You got the light pollution and everything.
Yeah.
I could see the body of this thing, the silhouette, and it's not a shape I've ever saw in the sky, ever. And so when I first started talking about this to some people, I was describing it, it was a V shape. And it was a V shape. The difference was, it was more like a check mark, or some people, like you said, boomerang, but it was more like a check mark where one side of it was shorter than the other. And it looked like a check mark in the sky, but you could clearly see a defined body of it, like a V check mark shape, and it was just hovering there. Like, I literally passed it by. It didn't move anywhere. I just kept on moving because I'm on the turnpike. I can't pull over or anything. But it was one of the most peculiar things I ever saw in my life, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I think I just saw a freaking UFO, and nobody's gonna believe me, you know? But no, I was really shocked because I mean, I have my show, and you know, you talk to people all the time that have these encounters, and I don't ever see anything, you know? And finally I saw something, and it was in passing, but it was really interesting, very interesting. And then a Bigfoot came out of it, and it was even more interesting. He asked for a ride, and I said, yeah, hop in, buddy. We got you going. It's no problem. Where are you heading?
Yeah, that's funny, man. That's crazy. When did that happen?
Like 2 Fridays ago. So, yeah, it wasn't too long ago. And if you listen to episode 94, so my last episode I came out with, if you listen through the whole thing.
And that's the Confessionals podcast. confessionalspodcast.com.
That's right.
You're welcome, Tony.
If you have an encounter, email me. So, yeah, but episode 94, I came out with that, and I know, you know, people tend to, like, with your show, I'd never listen to your whole show. It's kind of monotonous. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing. But I know that audiences and stuff, once the show's over, sometimes checks out. And so I figured I'd give them some bonus material, but I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. So what they have to do is they listen to the episode. You got to listen to all the outro music. And when the outro music's over, I come in and I'm like, hey, guys, you know, and then I'm like, you know, I got some bonus material for you because you made it through the whole episode. And I tell them the UFO story encounter. So, you know, it's a little side note with me is sometimes I do put in that stuff. Like I already put one time I actually recorded the whole show, did the outro, and then I deliberately had like a 2-minute gap of just audio silence. And then I came in with a bonus track. And so it's like one of those things where I sometimes I hide bonus tracks at the very end of the show. And like you, out of all the people that listen to the show, like you get like one or two like, hey, what's up with that extra audio at the end? I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't just deny.
You know, I don't even think I knew that. I don't think I've ever gotten all the way through that outro music.
I do it on purpose because it's not like I know most people aren't going to hear it, but the people that do, it's just a little special for them. Cool. You know what I mean? And then I just deny it just to play dumb. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and I know we'll have Les Stroud. I'll play a little clip from, and that was due to Casey too. That I got the Les Stroud interview. But
spot on.
Yeah, it was a good it was a great interview. I know you've heard it, but and he talked about that. He talked about seeing a UFO when he was out there. I think he was doing Bigfoot Survivor Man. I'll play a clip here in a second. But the other thing I want to talk to the audience about is, both Tony and I are coming up with an app for the audience. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to pull, what do you think, Casey, like 10, 15 members to be testers? Yeah,
I think so. I think we had a pretty good idea to start with the moderators on the fan page because they do a big job.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
for the admins, I guess I should say.
Yeah. We'll pull some people and have them be testers for the app. But the app's going to do a lot of really cool things. But one of the things the audience has been asking for is with the app to be able to listen to the show, like the member-only show, instead of having to go to the website. And there's going to be a lot of cool things in that app. Mm-hmm. I know we sat through and talked about it today. There's going to be some really cool things in that app.
Taking it to another level.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So we're working on the app, and I'll probably ask the audience as we move forward. We'll grab like some moderators and some members from the site to have them test it out and just tell us what they like, what they don't like, that sort of thing.
We'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Something kind of cool.
It'd be really cool. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of big things going on. I know for a lot of people, too, on SasquatchChronicles.com, I know the forum's down currently. It's just scheduled maintenance. It'll be back up. But doing a lot of things, doing a lot of little upgrades, and
yeah, I mean,
you see some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, Wes was here early this morning with his coloring book and his Crayola crayons, and he's making sketches of the app, and it's just, I thought it was great. The color scheme was beautiful.
If it's going to be Walmart quality like the merchandise, I think maybe I'll handle that part.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. That's probably true. So look for the app coming up where we will be, it'll be cool. It'll be really cool, especially since Casey's running it, not me. Mm-hmm. But if you've had an encounter, shoot me an email. My email address
Can I do this part?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you've had an encounter, shoot Wes an email. His email address is wes@sasquatchchronicles.com. If you get a chance, check out the website at sasquatchchronicles.com. There's a lot of great stuff in there. There's a lot of great stuff in the store.
You can also become a member. We'll see you guys.
Where are you going?
Take care of yourself.
I got this, Wes. Anyways, I got this, Wes. So, yeah, anyways, go ahead to the website at sasquatchchronicles.com. Check out the store. There's a lot of great stuff in there. The T-shirts are great quality. I'm actually wearing one of the hoodies right now. It's very soft, very great, durable stuff. Again, props to KC. But, yeah, there you go, guys.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty embarrassing. We're all decked out in our Sasquatch Chronicles gear.
Yeah.
Going out in public.
I like it, but...
There you go.
And I'll play the Les Stroud interview. Here's, I asked Les what was the strangest thing he had seen out in the woods. And this will be for the episode 500. Probably around Christmas time. Ain't that right, Casey?
Oh, we pinned it down. We got to figure out the logistics of that, because that falls on a Friday.
Somewhere around that time.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
It'll be December 21st or December 23rd.
Yeah, right around that time is when we'll play it.
No, that's exactly when it'll be.
Yeah, well, okay.
One of those 2 days.
She runs the schedule.
But the Les Stroud, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool. He shared a lot of really cool things with us.
People are, they're going to break their jaws when it hits the floor after hearing that.
Yeah, here it is. Take a listen.
Again, was a thing I wasn't either ready to or able to, because of the gatekeepers, share on the Survivor Man Bigfoot episode. And that was when I went up to the top of the mountain with the one Todd Standing in his research area up there. And the second night, I asked him to leave, and I stayed on the top of that mountain alone. It was weird, because this touches on another thing, and I'll just brief this, and that is, it's amazing that sometimes we don't utilize our best skills in these moments. It's like, why didn't you just take a picture?
Right.
I didn't even think of it.
Right.
And that's happened to me a couple of times. So I'm up on the mountain, and I had a weird thing later that night that just freaked me out. But the first thing that happened was, it's dark now. And I casually look over to the right, on top of a mountain, and looking down at the most amazing valley, but I can't see a city. Like, I'm not near Jasper, Alberta, or anything like that. And I look over, and I saw 4 massive lights. Well, what do you mean 4 massive lights? I got to say that if they were airplanes, or if it was an airplane, it would be an airplane the size of a shopping mall, because my goodness, the lights were huge, and they looked to be a mile away, and they were just hovering there in the sky. 4 big, huge, bright, round lights hovering in the sky. And I was like, oh, is that just a jet coming in for landing, and it's a weird refraction of the light? And I was like, no, for like 20 minutes it was up there, until at one moment I looked and it was just gone. It just vanished out of the sky. I didn't watch it vanish. In fact, I got bored with it. Why didn't I film it? I don't know why I didn't film it, but it was not in my inclination to film it. And yet I'm standing there staring. And I think, again, kind of like when the Sasquatch thing happened in the Alaska episode, I didn't want to confuse what I was doing with Survivor Man by talking about Bigfoot. Now I'm filming Bigfoot, and I didn't want to confuse what I'm doing with Bigfoot to talk about aliens and spaceships. I'm just like, I felt like going, not now, guys, you know? But I should have paid more attention.
What'd you think of that? I mean, you saw Boomerang, but he's talking about seeing, like, the mothership.
I haven't. I've heard other people say similar things.
I have too, yeah.
Episode 5, the confessionals. Plug! Shameless plug! Episode 5, the guy says he saw one the size of a football stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard that as a unit of measurement for them before.
Yeah.
Football field size.
Shopping malls,
yeah. That's crazy.
It is. But that's less light on that encounter right there, because what everybody else is going to hear during that show, jaw-dropping.
Yeah. Yeah, that was more of... well, I won't go into it because I'll ruin the episode 500. And Les really shared a lot of things during that interview that really shocked me. Really shocked me.
Yeah.
And he opened up, and he it's cool. A fan sent me an email, and I can barely talk. I'm so tired. A fan had sent me an email that said they went to one of Les's. What are you talking about?
I was going to go, wake up!
We'll fix it in post-production. He was... I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway.
No, the fan at his concert.
Oh, yeah, at his concert. He was wearing a Sasquatch Chronicles shirt. That was really cool. That was nice of him. That was really nice of him.
How much did you pay him?
I didn't pay him anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk less into... Well, I won't get into that. There's things that were... Anyway. What'd you think of that interview, Casey? You were there.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was a real honor to be able to be there and sit down with you guys and watch the interview play out. And I've been a fan of Les since the beginning of Survivor Man. My sister got me into it, and then seeing him transition into the Bigfoot stuff was pretty compelling. And it was before I got hooked up with this show. But throughout the season, he tried to stay pretty, middle of the road. He didn't want to go one way or the other. Or I think the quote that he used throughout the series is he didn't want to be a poster boy for one theory or another. So it was interesting to see him be able to open up a little bit more than he was able to during the season. So I was shocked by some of the stuff that he said because I would not expect it at all.
Yeah, me too.
Can we talk about something real quick? Can we talk, guys? Can we do some real talk here?
Can we talk real quick, guys?
Let's do some real talk. All right.
I'm going to turn Tony's bass up.
It's already turned up all the way.
Re-record this right now. Pause this.
There's only so much I can fix in post-production. I'm not Jesus Christ. I can't turn water into wine. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. No, for real, though. Let's do some real talk here.
Your interview techniques on episode 94?
We can get to that.
Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about how you chickened out tonight. Okay? We're like in Bigfoot country here, right? You run a show called Sasquatch Chronicles.
Right.
It's like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, yo, let's go find ourselves some Bigfoot. Let's go wrangle ourselves a Bigfoot. And you're like, nah, I'm a little tired tonight. Every time you don't want to do something, it's because you're tired. I think it's because you're scared.
I really am tired.
I think you're scared.
I'm exhausted.
I think you still have PTSD from your first encounter.
That could be true. Yeah. But I would go out, but I really am tired.
Right.
I think Wes is just getting up in years.
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah. Did you remember your false teeth?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Just making sure. Make sure you clean those tonight.
No, it'd be fun to go out. We just need to plan it better. You know what I mean?
No, but okay.
I will, to take some of the heat off of Wes, I will say me being the planner.
Yeah.
I think I've had the final say in cutting it off.
Okay. I guess I'm the only one with the gumption.
Next time we're down here, we'll go out for sure.
I'll be the first one to scream.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You might be the fastest one out of the three of us, so...
I'll trip you guys, and then I'm running.
And I know you're a gambler, Tony. You want to go out and gamble and look for Sasquatch. Well, let me tell you about something, buddy. You go to mybookie.ag. You can gamble all you want. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar. Use promo code Chronicles to activate the offer. Visit MyBookie online today. That's MyBookie. And don't forget to use the promo code Chronicles when creating your account to claim the bonus. You play, you win, you get paid. Thanks for coming on, Tony.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, Casey.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for all the hospitality down here in Texas.
That's how we do it.
Thanks, guys. I want to welcome Foster to the show. Foster, thanks for coming on.
Oh, man, my pleasure.
And Foster, I know you were in the Special Forces, and you actually had a couple strange things happen to you when you were at Fort Lewis. If you would you mind starting from the very beginning? Kind of tell us what happened.
Yeah, I was in the Navy for 8.5 years. Went through BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. BUDS Class 148, 1987, I graduated. Then thereafter, assigned to SEAL Team 3 Alpha Platoon, and did a deployment overseas in the Asian AO, Philippines, Thailand, Guam, that area. And come back to the second workup, which is probably, it varies from 6 months to a year, depending on what you're going to be doing. And, you know, one month you got medical, the others dive, jump, and then you get land navigation and other things. But what brought me to you was the land navigation. And, you know, I've been listening to your show over a year now. And the minute you brought up no weapons, how those, you know, I didn't see one. All I know is they were there and I heard them, or you feel them. But it was unusual for Army SF to call us to Fort Lewis to do land navigation, which was each night for about 6 nights was 8.5 kilometers, a little over almost a little under 4 miles, I believe. I could be wrong. And they drop each one of us off every so often, and they give you 10-digit grid coordinates, and you navigate. But what was the weirdest whole thing about this, and back up a little bit, SEAL Team is always used as a guinea pig for whatever's new, whether it's gear, an exercise, or to try something new. And this was new. When they got there, it said no weapons allowed. I thought that was unusual. And the brief was, well, the only thing you have to worry about was devil worshippers and Sasquatch / Bigfoot. And I thought it was just a psyop. And until we get out there.
You thought they were messing with you. You thought they were kind of, when you say psyops, you mean like they were just kind of screwing with you mentally?
Right. Just, you know, because it's hard enough when you're doing map and compass at night with a red lens flashlight and your protractor, and you got to lay on the ground and you got to be tactical, pull your poncho over you. So, you know, it's hard enough to see the red lens flashlight and that force alone. And then you pull your poncho over you, then you got to find out where you're at, and then, set your map and get your coordinates. And then every other foot is a meter pretty much. And I said, okay. And they drop us off in the back of a truck every so often. And it's beautiful out there. So every one of us, when we made it to a point, a checkpoint where you sleep during the day and patrol at night. So there were about 6 nights that we did this. And each night you'd walk, stop, and you'd hear, you know, I thought it was somebody like a Ranger or battalion patrolling after us as the aggressor. I don't know. It was, each one of us seemed like, did you have somebody following you? I go, yeah, same here. But I got that sense every time I'd lay down on the compass, I was doing it in front of somebody. And because of my ignorance of it, I wasn't that afraid of it, you know. But I did have an uneasy feeling until you started hearing the, I call it cat calls, or you can hear them almost like one would do it next to me. And then where my platoon mate was, you could hear where he was by the other one yelling. So each one of us were followed.
I'm curious, Foster, what kind, when you say cat calls, like what kind of vocalizations are you talking about?
That high pitched scream, like a woman, just like it's like they're sending a location where they're at and where you're at. You know, it's like each one of us had one of them following us. That's what it seemed like. Because I asked it, I go, "Were you followed last night?" He goes, "Yeah, it was the weirdest thing." Because I'd walk, stop, and then there was they didn't stop at the same time. Whoever it was big, stop, a foot or a step behind me. So I kept, I wasn't that graceful because when you climb over a tree that's on its side, it's a sizable tree. It's not like the trees down here you can just, step over. And, I tripped and fell because couldn't see some of the stuff, but whoever it was very graceful. That's for sure.
Did you ever talk to the superiors and tell them what was going on when you guys were out there doing these training missions?
No, it's kind of like go do the exercise. It seemed like they were waiting for us to say something. But, when we got grouped up, we have people from operations that are out there that are in our team that, they're at each point. And they'll ask you, because you don't want to say it, how was it? How was the patrol? All that said was interesting. And, there we get to try out new gear. I just so happened was wearing we call black pajamas. They're solid black camouflage to see how it worked in that environment, which it doesn't work too well. And everybody was trying something different. But the weirdest thing was no weapons. You could carry a knife, but that's it. Map, compass, sleeping bag, and that is it.
And is that and I never served, so forgive me, Foster, but is that the kind of the way it is, though, on military reservations? They don't, because I've had guys that have run into these things and actually had encounters, and they have blanks in their guns.
Well, see, in the teams, we're normally the bad guys. We're the op four, whether it's like CVs or whether it's a big army or it could be the Marines. But we train like we're fighting. That's just like in Korea. You got to patrol up to the DMZ. You still got your weapon. The only time I've never carried a weapon was SEER school, which was, it's like survival, evade, resistance, escape. I could have it backwards, but you're with usually put a team guy with a pilot, but that's the only time you're not allowed to carry a weapon. But we've always, other than going through buds, you carry the rubber ones. Even then, we're patrolling. Like you're going from point A to point B with a map and compass. And I've always done it in training, whether we're practicing live fire or we're just training wherever, any other place, whether it's Alaska, the Philippines, Thailand. If we're just training, we always have our weapons with us.
And that's interesting. It's really interesting that they mentioned Sasquatch to you. And you're not the first guy to tell me that from Fort Lewis. I've heard it many, many times. And it's so strange when the guys report it. I mean, it's a great way to end your military career or get demoted or...
Oh, yeah. And I was, to be honest, I've always been fascinated with that. Even, I hear a lot of people I watched In Search Of. So did I. I'm 54 years old, so... I remember when it first came out, and I thought it was interesting. And until I started listening to your show, I thought it was just one, one just doesn't make any sense. And, just to have that, there has to be a breeding population. And down here in Texas, I mean, if you're out east, if you're out long enough, you'll hear it. I mean, it's they're pretty vocal out here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was out there. I was telling Tony and some other people that I know of a place out there where you can go, and about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear them. I mean, you can hear them chattering and screaming and whooping, and it sounds like Jurassic Park out there.
It does. I mean, it's anywhere from. I listened to that one show. It was the guys up by where all the prisons are, up by that state forest. And where they could, I guess they could do their hunting on one side, their Sasquatch hunting or whatever they do on the east side, but you couldn't do it on the west side of the freeway, 45. And and I kind of know why. On the west side, it's a state forest, and it's like almost virgin territory. You can't even go in there. But, I didn't really think anything about this until you're the first show I listened to. And there's a few others I listen to. I go back and forth. But since I've been back, I moved from the east side, west of Houston and Katy, back to here. And I get out there and stay with a friend, and it's remote. And I didn't do any wood knocks, but I yelled. Maybe a half hour later, you get a reply. I'm just going to do it to see, for my own self.
Yeah, no, it's. If I had more time, I'd come down, hang out with you, and I know of a few areas we could go to.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too. You're talking about Fort Lewis, and I can understand sneaking up on just like regular infantry or the special forces guy. They're kind of tough guys to sneak up on.
Yeah.
What did you think was going on? I mean, were you thinking Bigfoot, or were you thinking?
Well, after a while, I did, because I'm like, there's no way anybody can move like that in this forest. And I'm like, and back then I still had my hearing, and I'm pretty visual at night. Once my eyes adjust, but. Me, you got a haphazard with jungle boots on. You got all your wait a minute vines. You got everything, things growing horizontal that'll catch you. But I can't say it's Bigfoot. I've never seen one in person, but I had that, after a while, you get that uneasy feeling. But it's, me, all thumbs and two left feet against a ballerina in the woods, so to speak. And it was, you can tell that it's good size, but they move real gracefully, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Almost like it's unnatural. Like they shouldn't be able to move around like they do.
No.
Especially at night. And you hear guys say that. I mean, you've listened to the show a lot. Witnesses say, I was being walked out. When I stopped, it stopped. And when I continued, it continued.
Yeah.
But you guys didn't really have any it didn't throw any rocks. It was mainly just vocals.
I didn't hear any rocks or anything like that. It was like, didn't know anything of it, because they got those structures from what I see, but I didn't see any of that. It was just straight virgin forest. But there were 5 or 6 of us, total 6 if you count ops there, that they said they had a visitor. I'm like, that's weird, so do I. But I go, did it move? Yeah. But nobody talked about it. And it was almost like they wanted to see how they work with us. That's just my opinion. And because, I did it for 8.5 years.
Don't you think that's a little bizarre? Like if you're on a military reservation, and I know SF guys get treated, better than most, which is, they should get treated better than most. But you think they would, if you report something like that, or, if did you guys ever report it? Was it pretty much just talked about between the guys?
We kind of ran it up the chain in the platoon, but it was kept there. I'm like, that was the weirdest darn thing. We didn't use that verbiage, but out of respect for your show, I ain't gonna.
I appreciate it. I got kids listening.
But, it was just weird, we've been to Kodiak, Alaska, because there they got bears. You definitely want to carry a big rifle. But here, I'm not sure in Washington State, do they have big grizzlies or brown bears, but you would think you would carry a sidearm at least, but nothing remotely looks like a pistol, except for a knife.
Yeah, it is bizarre. No, not necessarily. Down at Fort Lewis, you're talking black bears and cougars. They still kill you. But most of the brown bears are farther up north. More towards Canada.
Right.
Bizarre, man. Bizarre. I've had so many stories out of Fort Lewis. I mean, and it seems like as time goes on, if you mention you saw something, you're basically told to be quiet about it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, because I mean, it was pitch black. There's some big trees there, but I didn't see one, so I didn't get that shock and awe like some of you guys did, like yourself. I'm sure I would have got it, but it wasn't really bothering me. But it was concerning that something can keep up with me like that. And actually better, I mean, you could tell it was better suited for that environment than I was.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And it's not like, it's more like a school bus with mad skill. That's big, like a big school bus that's coordinated going through there. There was no branch snapping, none of that. It was just like it was following. Stop, and do like a real quick stop. It was like an echo of your footprint. It would do it.
Yeah, and that's in that forest up there in Fort Lewis, that whole area. I know it well. It's hard to navigate during the day, let alone at night. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And I've stumbled a couple of times up there. Call them the wait a minute vines. That some of them grow horizontal, it'll catch your foot. But whoever this cat was, it didn't. It never missed a beat.
Yeah, completely bizarre. Bizarre. What do you think Sasquatch is, Foster? I know you haven't seen one, but I know you've looked into it and you've had these experiences, which it's like, well, what else could it be? Unless.
Well, I kind of think along the paths you do, man. I think there's some human genome or genetics in it somehow, because why else would they recognize us more so than any other animal? Then I think they look at us as a competitor, and also they're trying to figure us out because we're bipedal too. And it's really hard to say on that one. I mean, because I've seen some of the pictures. I think there's some human genetics in there, and there's something else, because I've seen Mr. Davis's that white one that runs. The arms are extremely long, and we can't move like that. But I think they're related somehow.
Yeah, it could be. Definitely could be. It's fascinating, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing what happened to you at Fort Lewis, man. I really wish I was down south. Like I said, I'd take you out for a drink or something, man. I'd love to ask you a million questions, and I know there's some things a lot of guys aren't comfortable talking about, but I find it fascinating talking to, beyond Sasquatch, just some your experience and everything. I'd love to hear about it sometime.
Yeah, I haven't been out for a while, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Foster.
All right, brother, man, you have a good evening.
Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. Once again, go to SasquatchChronicles.com. If you check
Let me go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah.
And that's it for tonight, everyone. If you've had an encounter, shoot me an email. My email address is
Wes@SasquatchChronicles.com. That's Wes@SasquatchChronicles.com. Until next week, friends, stay safe, take care, and remember, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. Bye.
So I put my spirit a little wiser.